Have you ever had that feeling like what you are experiencing right now has happened before? Like you already know what is going to happen next in the future, or you have just witnessed something in the past that has not yet happened? That is called déjà vu. We all get it from time to time, but no one really knows exactly why. Today, we will talk about different experiences of déjà vu. Also, some psychological experiments that will help us understand this phenomenon better. So let's start. First off, we should differentiate between two types of déjà vu, the true déjà vu and the false déjà vu. The true déjà vu means already seen, which is French for already seen. It's the feeling that an experience at the present moment has happened before. For example, you walk into your classroom and suddenly it feels like you've been there before. You can see yourself sitting at a desk and doing homework. But when you turn around, you see that the room looks exactly the same as it did before. You have never been there before. It seems like you have traveled back in time and are experiencing the same events again. This is the real déjà vu. False déjà vu, on the other hand, is the opposite. It's the feeling that an experience at the present moment will happen in the future. For example, you wake up and have a dream about winning the lottery. When you wake up, you feel so confident and sure that your dream meant something and that you will win the lottery soon. So you buy a ticket for today's drawing and put it under your pillow. The next day you wake up, take the ticket out from under your pillow and discover that you won. Here, even though you didn't win the lottery until you actually bought the ticket, you still felt like you had already experienced this event before. This is false déjà vu. In fact, false déjà vu is just another way of saying precognition, which is the ability to know beforehand what will happen in the future. While precognition is often thought to be a fictional concept that only appears in science fiction movies, studies show that it may be more common than we think. A study published in the journal Frontiers in Psychology reported that about 2/3 of participants had experiences that could be classified as precognitive. So yes, people do experience precognitive dreams and premonitions before events occur. But what causes this phenomenon is still unknown. Now let's get back to the topic. Déjà vu is a fascinating phenomenon that has been studied by psychologists for many years. Although its exact cause is still unknown, there are several theories that attempt to explain why we experience it. The most popular theory is the two-system theory proposed by Dutch psychologist Frank J. Pluij in 2007. According to this theory, déjà vu occurs when there is a mismatch between our perception of the world and our memory of it. In other words, if we perceive something but our brain cannot match that perception to any memory we have, we may feel like we have already experienced it before. For example, if you see someone who looks familiar but you can't quite place their face, you may get a sense of déjà vu because your brain is trying to process the information that you are seeing without being able to match it to any memories you have stored. Another theory of déjà vu is the attention demands theory proposed by American psychologist David B. Burr and his colleagues in 2009. They suggested that déjà vu happens when we are so focused on one aspect of an experience that we fail to perceive other important cues around us. This can lead to a situation where we feel like we have missed something important or like we are experiencing something for the first time, when in reality we have simply overlooked some key details. For example, if you are driving down a road and fixated on the car in front of you, you may not pay attention to the scenery around you. If you then glance away from the car in front of you, everything will seem strange and unfamiliar. Even though you have driven that road many times before, this is because you were so focused on one thing that you didn't take in any other information. The last theory of déjà vu is the memory-based theory proposed by British psychologist Richard E. Jay in 2011. He argued that déjà vu occurs when our brain retrieves a memory that is incomplete or fragmented. This can lead to a feeling of familiarity with an experience, but without being able to remember the specifics of that experience. It's like knowing a song, but not being able to remember the name of it. Or you meet someone and you feel like you've met them before, but you just can't place their face. For example, let's say you go to a party and meet someone new. You talk to them for a while and get along well. Later in the night, you find yourself talking to someone else, and suddenly you get a sense of déjà vu. You feel like you've met this person before, but you can't quite place where you met them. You may have met them at that party, but your memory of the event is incomplete or fragmented. So you feel like you've already met them before, but you can't remember exactly when and where. To learn more about déjà vu, Researchers at the University of California conducted a series of experiments. They recruited 294 participants for their experiment and showed them a series of images and asked them to identify which ones they recognized. The images were presented in two blocks, one before lunch and the other after. Researchers hypothesized that participants would report more incidents of déjà vu after lunch because the brain processes emotions and memories differently after consuming caffeine. Their hypothesis was correct. Participants reported significantly more instances of déjà vu after consuming caffeine than before. This suggests that caffeine may play a role in triggering déjà vu experiences. However, the exact mechanism behind this is still unknown. One possibility is that caffeine may interfere with the neurotransmitters in the brain that are responsible for processing emotions and memories, leading to feelings of familiarity. Another possibility is that caffeine may stimulate the release of certain hormones that are associated with feelings of alertness and arousal, which may make us more susceptible to having déjà vu experiences. Another experiment was conducted by a team of researchers from China and the United States. They wanted to investigate whether déjà vu experiences are more common in people with higher levels of trait anxiety. Trait anxiety refers to a general tendency to experience negative emotions and feelings of worry and apprehension. The researchers recruited 186 participants and asked them to complete a questionnaire measuring both trait anxiety and the frequency of déjà vu experiences. Their results indicated that participants who scored higher on the trait anxiety scale also reported more frequent episodes of déjà vu. This suggests that there may be a relationship between anxiety and the likelihood of having déjà vu experiences. One possible explanation is that people who experience higher levels of trait anxiety are more likely to perceive ambiguous or uncertain situations as threatening. This may cause them to ruminate over past experiences and overanalyze their memories, leading to a heightened sense of familiarity. Another explanation is that people with higher levels of trait anxiety may be more attuned to subtle changes in their environment, which could make them more likely to notice discrepancies between their perceptions and their memories. Overall, déjà vu is a complex phenomenon that has been explained by several theories. While the exact cause of déjà vu is still unknown, it is clear that it is a common experience that can be triggered by a variety of factors. Further research is needed to fully understand the underlying mechanisms of déjà vu and its relationship to other cognitive and emotional processes. So, do you have déjà vu often? What kind of experience have you had? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching and see you next time.